pulse.
10 down, 30 metres, 31 metres.
Head revolutions, 7.5.
Revolution 7.5.
Shuttle hull valves. Head revolutions, 115. Full rise, 20 up, midships, emergency blow main ballast. Revolutions,
15 metres, revolution 7.5 set.
16 FBA. Race search periscope, watch your back, engineer. Head revolutions 115, yeah, I'm happy.
For the first time, a film crew is travelling on one of Australia's controversial Collins-class submarines.
Stop snorting, stop snorting, stop snorting.
A submarine can be a dangerous place.
No, don't take any, just get the aerosols up and watch it.
And as we shall see, what's an exercise 1 minute can become frighteningly real the next.
It's in the red, safeguard. Safeguard. Okay, well, get down the end. Stop filming. Get down the end.
Safeguard, safeguard. Emergency station, emergency station. Touching gas, touching gas, touching gas. Outlet 76. Somebody must report. 192, 190. We're still on there, shut that door.
When Jason first proposed to me, he introduced me to the then captain, and he turned around and said, do you realise that as a submariner, your husband is expected to be away from home 300 out of 352 days? And secondly, that the escape hatch is purely for wives. And I'm thinking, what on earth does he mean by that? Jason explained to me later that depending on where they were, escape hatch was to make us wives feel better that there was an escape.
In the 1980s, Australia decided it needed a new submarine fleet, so we took the dramatic step to build our own. But from the beginning, things didn't go smoothly.
I think, Mr. Deputy Speaker, we've got to admit it is a source of considerable embarrassment. The state of our preparedness of submarines.
Welcome to Good News Week. And the big news? The Navy is apparently prepared to dump key features of the Collins-class submarines in a desperate attempt to keep them in service. The feature they'd most like to lose is the going underwater capability.
Touted as state-of-the-art undersea technology, the subs leaked and couldn't even run silently, with some comparing them to a noisy rock band.
The Navy should read the warranty. Collins-class, water-resistant, not waterproof.
Mr. Speaker, it is able to submerge at the present time. There have been some problems with the hydraulic couplings in the past, which were no doubt put on when you were in power.
At the height of the controversy, when the calls were loudest to scrap them, politicians from both sides decided that we should continue with the program and fix the faults. Why? Because nothing else does what a submarine does. They're a potent part of a defence system. They're stealthy. They're lethal. They collect enormous amounts of intelligence.
Cameraman. Not in high power. Green. Too cold. Range. That's 33 minutes. There is nothing on his stern.
One submarine can tie up a whole raft of resources from the opponent, and vice versa.
5 down. 35 metres.
There are a lot of other things that a submarine can do that is unique, but mainly the fact that they're out there, and yet you don't know they're actually out there. You know, we may not even have a submarine there, but the fact that we own them and there could be a submarine there is sufficient, food for thought.
Watch on the bridge, happy, sir. Roger, officer, watch on the bridge, happy.
The captain, Steve Hussey, is 46 and has spent 25 years in submarines, including a former career in the British nuclear fleet. He served in 2 wars, the Falklands and the Gulf.
All positions AC looking for tripwire bearing on 180.
His second in command is Executive Officer Matt Buckley, who has his sights set on assuming his own command soon.
020.
Because I think the boss and I, neither of us are short of a word. We get on well outside of the submarine type of environment, but I mean, I would say that it's an all-consuming thing, and even when you're off the submarine, you're generally talking about the bloody thing, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is an all-consuming thing.
6 Collins-class submarines have been built, and the question is, have the problems been solved? The newest, HMAS Rankin, was commissioned 12 months ago and is now preparing for a major mission.
The submarine is, as I say, in my opinion, is probably the best diesel submarine out there in the world today. But when we actually get to Hawaii and we operate with all the ships and submarines out there, that'll be what, that's professionally what they're all looking forward to, and I'm sure we're going to do very well.
Coming up is a 6-month deployment visiting Korea, Japan, and culminating in the world's biggest war games in Hawaii.
Collins-class submarines have performed extremely well at these exercises before, so Rankin doesn't like to be outshined and will be endeavouring to do a better job, I guess.
But before Rankin leaves, she must face her harshest critics. To qualify for the deployment, she's about to be tested to the extreme. These are the men who will test her. They've lived submarines all their working lives.
When they go to get underway again, finish that contemplated.
The Sea Training Group, they're charged with putting the submarine through its paces. It's up to them to recommend to me and then through to the Maritime Commander if the submarine is safe to proceed to sea.
Rankin travels 20 kilometres offshore to water deep enough to dive. The Sea Training Group are known as the Green Team. They've planned a series of evolutions, exercises which will test safety procedures. They'll record their thoughts and observations on Palm Pilots, which will be compiled into a report that will decide Rankin's future.
MCC, I select a depth mode manual separate, heading mode manual. 11 up, 50 metres.
On many submarines, the steering functions are controlled by 2 people. Together they control speed, trim and depth through manipulating the ballast tanks, the hydrofoils and the control surfaces that serve as a rudder. The Collins class is unusual in that one person drives the submarine and controls all of those functions.
It's just like a big computer game, I suppose, but unfortunately I suppose it's the entire crew's life's at stake. You try not to think about that.
Hunting in 500 litres.
Each submariner is multi-skilled. They share responsibilities. Those that are qualified drive the submarine in shifts. The demands are significant, especially under duress. Using a starting pistol, the Green Team have simulated a hydraulic pipeline burst. Highly flammable liquid is spraying around the control room and has disabled the helmsman's computer screens.
Someone deal with the hydraulics.
Until you get the submarine under water.
Under pressure, helmsman Wyatt has committed the ultimate sin of broaching the submarine. A metre of fin has appeared above the surface, a potentially fatal error in wartime, as it would give the submarine's position away.
The MCC doesn't have control of the submarine. Let's get on there.
In reality, a submarine would most likely face only one emergency at a time. But here, they pile on 2 and 3 events to test the crew to the limit. The safety evaluation goes on for 4 days. Fire, famine and flood, they call it.
190.
Each day, the demands are more complicated, and each day the crew are getting more and more exhausted.
Tell me where the weight comp function is right now.
There's no indication on what weight comp. You've had trim and weight comp over here the whole time. We've been doing it from emergency over here, right?
From over here, sir.
That's correct. Yeah, on the panel.
Exactly on the panel.
So this has always been run from here.
Okay.
I don't know what the problem is. Okay, report when you're happy that you've got all tasks back here.
I'm happy, sir.
That's not the report. The report is
happy with
all
all
MCC tasks resident at the MCC.
All MCC tasks resident in the MCC.
Gradually, the pressure eases.
Pumping 1,000 litres from MComp to C. Ever had one of those days? I'm having it. Actually, no, not quite as bad as that one. No.
At the end of each evolution, the green team give their assessment.
The general performance has been pretty good. It's just, as you said, a couple of areas during particular incidents which have brought the level down to 17 minus.
I stuffed up the evolution with a very basic mistake and went blank and panicked, and you start thinking, oh God, am I actually half decent at this, or am I competent to do this? Am I going to get kicked off the boat or anything like that? I mean, that's all quite possible.
The possibility of failure is always there. If she doesn't come up to standard, there will be certainly no hesitation in turning around and what we say, sending her around the buoy, making her do part of it or all of it all over again.
How's the crew performing? Oh, look, that's not for me to say.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Do you think you're going to get deployed to Hawaii?
Ah, that's a given. I mean, we're going to keep doing this until we get it right.
Report the sounding, midships, 0 bubble, stop main motor. Stop main motor. Stop main motor ordered. 60.5 open main ballast tank flood valves. Call the sounding. Main ballast tank flood valves open.
The final stage of the workup is called the URE, the Unit Readiness Evaluation. The emphasis is on action rather than evaluating safety standards. Can the submarine perform the tasks it's designed for? Can it fire weapons? Can it carry out surveillance and reconnaissance?
The final evaluation, it's as if the submarine is at war, and we put together a scenario which will involve other ships, which will involve taking battle damage, and see how the ship's company cope with those scenarios.
Boarding course 120. 120.
Rankin is pitted against 2 warships in the waters off Western Australia. Frigates, Adelaide and Arunda.
Ending. Bearing that. 252. Range that. 12 minutes. Yeah, he's doing it on the... Master 01, he hasn't altered, he's broad port.
Every ship has a story, and for submariners, the ship's story is written underneath the hull. A submarine has 2 main functions: as a weapons platform and to collect intelligence. An underwater lookup of an enemy ship is as cheeky and dangerous an activity as one can imagine.
2 metres. 4 up. 5 down. 4.5 knots. Head revolution is 5.5.
As we close in on the warship, it remains unaware of our presence, and judging correct depth and speed is essential.
45 metres.
What the captain's trying to do is determine exactly what range they are, what course and speed they are. Okay. At any minute they could turn towards, and endanger the safety of the submarine.
There it is, right underneath him now. Datum. Stand off. Mark all plots.
No 2 hulls look the same, and no 2 propellers sound the same. Around the world, ships can be identified through their sound signature. Once collected, it can be stored for reference.
Good reach through the screws.
That's going to be cool.
That's our intelligence done.
David Beeling.
Look at that.
The captain remains cagey about how the Navy uses this intelligence.
What do you do with that information?
I was just practicing to see if we can do it. You never know when you might need to do something like this.
Yeah. Can you talk about the sort of circumstances you might use that in real life?
Not particularly. I mean, it's something you can do with a submarine. You can't do with any other vessel, so you might as well practice it. You never know if or when it might become useful.
Yeah.
It's just a great navigational thing to do.
Covert information gathering is a specialty. With masts raised, the submarine can suck in all kinds of military and civilian communication.
"15 seconds.
Maintaining, 8 deep. Coming up.
Now, the exercises become more ominous. The aim is to find a target and sink it.
25 seconds.
Nothing seen. Possibly something faint on the horizon. I think we're going to have to come back to starboard again. Starboard wheel.
Once the periscopes are down, the eyes and ears of the submarine are principally the sonar operators and the technicians who operate the communications and weapons equipment behind the black curtain. Security prohibits our entry.
So it's just regain 51 drawing right, just come out of the noise. Suggest 51's possibly zig. Best speed by sonar is 14 knots on that contact.
Over 14.
All this AC SITREP. Now hold up both mast contact 1 and 51 again. Sonar contacts are continuing to zig. General MLA 300. Only one is operating radar, that's master contact 1.
20 seconds.
That bearing.
25
Warship,
seconds.
that bearing.
090.
Starboard wheel.
Both drawing right now, sonar 20.
Steer 120. Standby target setup.
The captain is the man. He basically is the brain of this submarine. He is the nervous center. We are the nodes. Basically, all the nodes feed into this one brain. He makes the decision and manipulates the nodes as he sees fit to the best possible outcome.
Mast contact 51, only have it on Atlas 9600, which is usually quieter than Sea Giraffe. That would suggest ranges of 10 to 15,000 yards.
So that sounds a fair assumption. All right, coming up to 350, studying the bearing rate.
In a computer room on the Stirling Naval Base, a team of Defence Force civilians work with naval officers to chart the cat and mouse game.
Roger that, Bravo. Thank you very much. Be advised our intentions are to call Green Range in the northern section of the range. Over.
What we're trying to do, or what we're trying to achieve today, is certify HMAS Rankin's command team to fire weapons.
Rankin, the ships and the weapons each have a pinger attached to them. It sends out a beep that's registered by acoustic listening devices attached to a network of undersea cables laid 80 nautical miles off the coast in an area known as the Range. The information from the acoustic devices is analysed in the range hut, and the performance of the ships, the submarine and the weapons is assessed.
Five seconds.
When Rankin reaches Hawaii and takes part in the RIMPAC exercises with the ships and submarines of 6 other countries, a similar system of evaluation will be used, only in 3D.
2 warships bearing that.
091.
On the top. That.
092.
Range.
122.
That.
25 minutes.
Okay, bearing 122.
3,200 yards I am.
35 port.
Roger.
Arunta is right astern, right behind now. He's coming down the port side of, he's right behind.
Yeah, that's why we don't have boat. Just firing on them as one contact, sir. Okay. Update that solution.
Solution for Barry. 51.
Okay. Solution assigned.
Stand by to sign on the weapon.
Yep, stand by to fire. Mast contact 51. Allocate 3
Select
tubes.
1 tube. Roger. Solution updated. Right system.
Roger. Fire 5 tube.
Fire 5 tube.
10-second break.
Firing 5 tube. GA 119 right. Run high. Search low. Ping short. Doppler out. Wire is good. Say 5 kid.
The torpedo is real, but it lacks a warhead.
Roger. Copy Yankee 1.
We're starting to get nice returns on the weapon, and it's obviously heading straight for Arunta, so I think this is going to be a good shot. You can hear that high-pitched ping now as it comes close into the warship.
When it passes under the ship, the pinger records a hit.
I'm on fire! On fire! Help! On fire! Yes, they're taking the fire!
The green team are at it again, but Rankin's crew must remain focused on the job in hand.
Still on here, shut that door! Still on here! Okay, opposition, stand by, updated solution, Master 51, bearing 224, range 5,000 yards, course 195. One tube at fire at Oval. Firing 1 tube. 6,000 total meters, run to enable, run high, search medium, ping long, Doppler out.
The unit readiness evaluation is over. The moment of truth has arrived.
I'll just go through now some strengths and weaknesses that we've perceived over the course of the URE. The Action Information Organisation, the information flow, can be improved, particularly through the track manager. You've had, a bloody busy program, to be honest. You started out, you had a number of significant defects which required a real concerted effort from all members of the crew to overcome, and to maintain that focus and your enthusiasm throughout is a credit to all concerned.
Thank you, sir.
And however, overall, congratulations. I certainly believe you're ready to join the fleet as a fully operational submarine, and you're more than ready to go on deployment. And I certainly wish you success at RIMPAC. I wish I was going. I think it's a great exercise to do, and I'm sure you'll do well. So congratulations.
What have we got then? Let's go.
Okay.
Greg Wyatt got over his horrible day at the steering console and remains part of the crew.
Head revolution 757 in manual. Trim and weight comp systems are in manual and secured.
During the workup period, the 42 members of Rankin's crew have all been men. But the word is about that when she deploys, women will be joining the boat.
Whether you like it or not, it's the same as having the cameras on board. People's psyche is going to change.
A fair few of the answers you'll get, when that's turned on, will be sugar-coated answers, because people want to seem to sort of like fit both sort of sides. Oh, the chicks, well, I don't like it, but I'm happy with it, sort of thing. People won't tell you what they were talking about down in the mess, down aft, ashore, before we sailed, whatever.
You split crew because some people refuse to accept it, some people embrace it.
I don't like it. Why not? One, I get kicked out of my rack. Two, I don't believe they should be on submarines.
Whether they're ugly blokes and ugly chicks or whatever, there's still always that sexual tension, I suppose, between some of them.
Really, they are going to be treated differently from the rest of us because they're coming on for a specific reason.
What is that reason they're coming on for, do you think?
I believe for the camera.
Next week, the crew of Rankin bid farewell to family and friends and leave Australia for 6 months. Their big adventure is about to begin. But early in the journey, we find not everything goes as smoothly as the crew would like.
Yep. Right, come out of there. Losing the X1.
Generator trip shuttle hull valve.
One engine problem after another threatens to prove the critics right and put an end to the mission.
Yep.